Hello, my name is Carrie.
And my name is Sam, and we're Thrive at Home, and we're passionate about building trust, intimacy, and connection in relationships.
That's right, and today we're going to talk about the importance of emotional connection in your relationship.
Yeah.
So even more important than great communication skills, it's how effective are you at connecting with your partner.
All right, thank you for continuing again on the journey about connection busters, and this one I'm going to say is trying to cheer your partner up. This is a very personal thing. So I'm going to tell you some personal stories about this. But here's what I see. Oftentimes, we in relationships feel this responsibility for our partner's emotions.
Right.
And that's natural. But there is a line on who is responsible for controlling their emotions.
That's right.
So, and I'm the one, I'll confess, that there are times that I can get my perspective, will get a little negative, not a little negative, maybe a lot negative, and I'll see what we haven't accomplished yet, things that aren't going right, and my mind will get set, and then I'll get depressed, and I'll start feeling really sad and upset. And I think that in the past, and I think a lot of couples do this, but I'm going to give, even in our own marriage, there are times then that the other partner, so if I'm down and Carrie's up, she's the happiest, like there's just sunshine. Oh, it's like Olaf. And
Yes, and Frozen.
yeah, he's about to melt. And he's like, oh, this is so wonderful. The issue is that what I find is that actually ends up being a pattern of disconnection.
Right.
Because even though the motivation is to try to cheer me up, when someone gets artificially sweet in their telling of their story, like they remove all negatives, they only speak about the positives, it's like you're trying to blow sunshine up my rear end. Like, what? Stop this. Because I actually last night I was telling a couple about this, and I said one person seems to be getting happier and the other person's getting crappier. And so
This is really bad between us because that is not my normal state. My normal state is pretty
very calm.
Even. Of course, I get agitated. It's not saying that I never have issues, but I'm pretty calm and I'm never super excited about anything.
Yeah.
But early on in the relationship, you're just like, oh, okay, let's snap out of it. Come on, let's go. Because for him to be sad affects me. And sometimes in some couples, for him to be sad then means the opposite, then I have to be sad too.
Right.
And that's not the case because his emotions and what he's dealing with are his. Yeah. And I have my own separate set of emotions, and it's okay to me to feel happy or neutral, and for him to be sad. That's totally fine. And you can still connect even when you're different. I
once had like it used to be 4-wheel drive trucks with fixed axles. Man, one axle or one wheel would go down, the other one had to go up. It was just, but now modern technology, right? You got independent suspension. This one can be going up and down, and this one can be stable. So let me tell you what happened a couple of weeks ago, and this was really powerful. It was a marker in our marriage, and I saw it happening. Super tired, that hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Boy, I was plummeting. Needless to say, negative, and I started telling Carrie about all the things that weren't going well.
Yeah.
But this time, instead of going up, see, right, to balance out the teeter-totter, right, if I'm down and you're up, you got to go higher in order to balance. So, but in this case, she came towards me.
Right.
So she listened and really engaged in what I was saying, which I felt heard and validated. Super important.
Right.
Don't ever say your partner's ideas are ridiculous. Woo! Huge connection buster.
Or their feelings are ridiculous.
Yep. No. So she came towards me, she heard me, and then this is what she said. After she had heard me, she says, it's interesting. I have been having a very different perspective today. And then she started talking about some of the things that have really worked out for us in the last few months. Mm-hmm. And what ends up happening is what they call cognitive dissonance. So cognitive dissonance is the ability to hold two different ideas in your mind at the same time. Everything I was saying is true. Mm-hmm. It's correct, especially from my perspective. But what she was saying was also true, and it was focused on different things. Well, now I'm able to focus on two things, and my mood starts going up. So the teeter-totter, we're both moving towards the center rather than the polar ends. So to me, this is a huge disconnection. And a lot of couples, feel this deep responsibility to cheer their spouse up when they're down or when they're anxious. You know what? Just be you. Hear them out. Join them. Come towards them. But you can't control it. Their mental health is their responsibility.
Right.
And so they've got to figure that out. But it will be so much better if they're in connection.
That's right.
Right. When we're connected, we can handle anything. When we're disconnected, it's like just going off a cliff.
Right.
So
it's always looking for ways to turn towards one another.
Yeah.
Connection, the key to it is always looking for ways to turn towards.
Yep.
And you do that by some listening, valuing what the person has to say, which automatically, square one, reduces tension. And once the tension's reduced, then we can continue a conversation. The opportunity for the conversation to continue is there. Whenever tension's still high and you haven't even heard what's being said, and you're just trying to well, I'm happy. You should be happy too. You haven't heard, you haven't turned towards. You basically have turned away from that person. And when you turn away, you can't connect.
Doesn't feel like you're on the same team.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Thank you again for joining us on the journey. More to come.